And now it's time to welcome our guest, Kim Julene. Welcome, Kim. I'm so honored to have you here on the show.
Hi, Reba. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I understand you're into Feng Shui.
Yes.
I happen to love it. So tell me a little bit. That was part of a very big transformation of your life, as we read in the bio. So tell me a little bit about that, how that happened for you.
Sure. So it actually goes back to when I was in seventh grade. Actually, I lost all of my friends. And as a seventh grader, that's a pretty traumatic thing. And I ended up spending a lot of time in my bedroom as a result of that. And I started to just like try to do things to make myself feel better. So I was like cleaning out clutter, like cleaning out closets, things like that. Started rearranging my room. And I did that a couple times until I got to the point where it felt so good. Like it was kind of like Goldilocks, right? Like, oh, it's just right. And once my room felt good and felt like it was in a good place, then that kind of gave me the energy and the courage to get back outside. And I started going. We had a tennis court across the street from our house, and they have those, boards where you could just hit against the board. And so I go over and do that every day just to kind of get outside, and eventually ended up meeting a friend there who happened to go to my same school, and she welcomed me into her circle of friends. And so it really, the energy of your space can really shift the energy of what's happening in your life. And just I started practicing it, actually kind of studying and practicing on my own for about the last 15 years, just studying books and things, and then got certified 2 years ago.
That's an amazing story. It's sort of like, well, first of all, I'm having tea, so I want to offer you some too. I just want this to be
thank you.
Corner.
I've got my water.
Okay, we're all set. Okay, great. That's an incredible story. It's almost like this this gift that you have for arranging space, and this sensitivity you have to your environment really almost saved your life.
Yeah.
Really when you needed it, because I totally get how devastating it can be. Well, seventh grade, to lose them all, forget it. I can't even imagine. Even just to lose one, even as an adult, is very traumatic. When something goes wrong with a friendship, it's really not easy. So that is tremendous. So tell me about the last 15 years, because obviously you got past that, and this sort of Feng Shui idea, even if you didn't call it that back then, helped you.
Yeah.
And then, in your bio, you talk about, overworked, overstressed, mother of two, overweight. What tell me a little bit what sort of led up to that kind of crisis of nothing's going right, and what got you out?
Yeah. So it just seemed like, with the insurance company that I was working for, I was handling these claims, just super, super stressful. Some of the worst claims you can imagine: physical, sexual abuse, death claims, all kinds of different things. Children death claims were kind of my specialty. So awful, just awful, awful stuff. And not knowing then kind of what I know now, I'm empathic. So I kind of take on, that energy of circumstances and other people's feelings, that type of thing. So it was just very much getting to a point where I was actually having headaches like on a daily basis at work. But I feel like I discovered Feng Shui kind of in the midst of my personal development journey. And I just realized, like, looking around at the things in my home, that it changed how I felt when I moved things, when I followed the Feng Shui principles and moved some things around. And actually I had a little story about my marriage piece of it. I had done an adjustment at our home. We were missing actually a big piece of our partnership corner in our house. And this was our second house. Our first house was nice and square, and so I didn't have any issues there. But we moved to this house, or built this house, and we were missing a piece of our partnership corner. And I had done an adjustment outside, which I don't typically do now. I do them all inside. But I had done something outside, and it was like like a flower thing or something like that, a hanging flower thing. It got moved at some point. I don't even remember. And then I kind of lost track of things in the hurry and scurry of life. And so I always kind of wonder, like, if I had, if I had kept that, and obviously there were other things with the relationship.
So the marriage dissolved, or?
Yeah, got divorced, yeah, 5 years ago. So,
Okay, okay.
and there were some other disparity, there's some things you can do in the bedroom to balance things, and those were way off whack.
Yeah.
Lots of different things going on there, but
Just
yeah.
so the viewers, I love Feng Shui, and I haven't studied it seriously the way you have, but I know a little bit. But just so the viewers understand, when she says the house was missing the relationship corner, the Feng Shui uses a bagua, which is, I believe, 9 areas around a central area. And depending on how you look at it, each of those areas is associated with a part of your home and also an aspect of your life. So a lot of houses are asymmetrical. So you might be missing a relationship corner or a fame corner. So that's what we mean when we say we're missing a relationship corner. So that's not not an ideal situation.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that.
No, it's okay. I just, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, wait a minute, not everybody understands, but I happen to love the bagua, and I think it's a really useful tool. Even if you're not like super into Feng Shui, it helps you just think about those different areas of your life and think about how to sustain them. So tell me more. What can I help you with today? Because I'm here for you. We have a little bit of time together, not a lot. So I want to be of service to you if I can.
So what I'm kind of struggling with is I've been for a little while, been thinking about and wanting to do an online course. So I've done Jumpstart Feng Shui as my course, and I've taught it locally a number of different times, and people have gotten great results. And they just really like it because it's a deep dive into Feng Shui, and it really helps walk them through the process. And so I want to create this online, but I've just been having, I just haven't done, I've just not been doing it. And so I always feel like there's a message in that, typically when I'm not working on something, either it's not the right time but I have been starting to feel more recently like it's time to, like I'm getting that sort of inner push about it.
Right. So that I think it's very interesting, that you listen to that, you're not just pushed through, you're like, maybe I should listen. And now you're feeling more clear about it's time to move forward. Mm-hmm. So what are the obstacles and how can I help you?
So the obstacles for me, sometimes it just feels like it's a overwhelming big project to do because I have a lot of content. I also need to shoot videos, or I want to shoot videos. That's part of what I want to do, is shoot short videos for each like section of the course, and then getting the handouts compiled and getting all of this loaded onto Kajabi is the other thing that I'm, it's like, it feels like there's so many moving pieces to it. And I have done sort of that, where you kind of figure out the project type of thing. But again, I just, it's like, I'm trying to figure out where to start with it. Like, do I get everything figured out ahead of time and then start loading on, or do I just start loading and revise from there?
Right. You have a program that you're working with for the course?
Yes. It's called Kajabi. It's an online platform. Many different people use it for courses, like Brenda Burchard, Shailene Johnson. They put all their courses on it.
It's a teaching platform, course platform.
Yeah.
They have, they have the steps for you what to do. But so what must be puzzling you is maybe the organizational part of it, so that you kind of have so much that it's like, how do I break it down?
Yeah.
And you don't want to start putting it in because then you might be reversing it.
Right.
Well, that's an interesting, I would just do it depends where you're comfortable. If you're comfortable on paper, I would do it on paper so that, I also design courses, and I also have like tons of material. So what I usually end up doing is overwriting, and then I need to make it shorter.
Yes.
And first I have to dump everything I want to say. And then I think, well, I'm going to take some of that and use that for the discussion group.
Oh, right. Nice. So that's a great idea. Yeah.
So that people, when they come to you, they don't get overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Because people do get overwhelmed pretty quickly, especially if they don't know you. Now, if they know, love, and trust you already, they'll be like, you know, go through the lecture, stick it out because it'll be worth it in the end. But if they don't know you, if it's not immediately, I hate to say it, but gratifying,
Yeah.
if it doesn't immediately grab them and, you know, looks doable and engaging. So each lesson can't be too big, I don't think.
Right. That's why I was thinking like very short, short clip videos, and then they'll have a handout to support them, you know, that will explain kind of the concept that we're working with and what steps they can take.
That's great right there, because some people want to see the video, some people want a piece of paper in their hands.
Yeah.
And what will you do every week? Will you give an assignment every week or an exercise or?
Yes, they'll have like homework to do each week.
Okay, so there's a structure that each
Yeah.
lesson is going to be, you've got this, you've got that, and you've got that, right? So they have the exercises. Now, you strike me as a pretty organized person. So
I know I am. I am very organized. You know, if I have anything that I'm not as organized in, it might be the paper, just because there's so much of it. But I do have all the stuff for this course all organized in one binder type of thing.
How many lessons is it?
Well, ideally, I would like it to be 9. Is kind of, because that's a great Feng Shui number. 9 is about reaching new heights, and that's our sort of lucky Feng Shui number. So that's my intention, is to have it be a 9-week course, and I may end up putting in like a bonus week or 2 in there. We'll see. But
why don't you think in terms of 2 courses, and have 2 9-week courses, and have one almost be like a, you know, Feng Shui for Dummies.
Oh, like an intro? Yeah. Okay.
And that way, you know, you don't have to feel like you have to keep pushing all the stuff into that one course. And now
that's a great idea. Yeah.
And you can make it funner and more light, because you're not trying to put so much into it. Yeah.
What is your thought about when you do your courses? Do you do a weekly call with the group, a discussion call?
I actually haven't done that, because I'm doing my courses through Daily Om, which is another course purveyor, and they have an online group. So I encourage people to participate in that. It's very funny, because my next course is going to be a manifesting course, which is going to happen, I think, in the summer. And I actually use the bagua as one of my exercises to help people find like different areas. So I do love it, and you'll see it in my course if you go there. But I haven't done the online calls, but I think they're terrific. I think people want to connect with you personally, and I think it will be a way for you to put less in writing, because I really feel like that's not your comfort zone necessarily.
You know, I'm actually a really good writer. It's just taking the time to sit down and do it. It's not my favorite thing.
I didn't mean as a writer. I'm sure you're a good writer, but I mean your comfort zone, like you're not relaxed. You're like, what should I do? And you're sort of like a little bit agonized. But I get the feeling that if you're on a call or a Skype call, you're going to be completely relaxed.
Yeah.
And you'll be
friendly. And the questions too. Lots of times people do have questions. I mean, that's the thing, and more of the engagement where they can ask a question. I can clarify, you know, what's happening or what's going on, and help them that way too.
Exactly. And that's the hardest thing about creating a course, is that you're talking to people who sort of don't exist yet. And you kind of have to think ahead about who are they, what do they need, how fast do they need to go, how do they need to hear it, you know, will they be offended by this, will they like that? And it's a lot of unknowns. But when you have somebody in front of you, it's very easy and it's very comfortable. So I think, not that I was saying you're not a good writer, but put less agony into the writing. Just treat it like this is just to get us started. You know, this is just, you know, we're going to have fun on the call. Now hop on the call, get on the call. Let's talk about it. Let's work it out. And the good thing about that is that as you do the calls, I don't know if this platform you're working with allows you to adjust as you go along, because what you're going to find as you're talking to your students, you'll be like, oh, they really got stuck here, or they really needed more about this. They really wanted to know more about that. So you'll be, I think the problem is, if it's a problem, it's not, everybody has this issue, is you're talking to no one, right now. It's not reality based exactly, but once you start interacting, it will be.
Yeah, and because I've done the course live a number of times, I feel like I have that, sort of feedback, or I kind of know what sort of things typically come up for people or what
That's
they typically
good.
have. But I love the idea of just, if I need to on the fly doing an extra video or, providing them extra information. It's a great idea.
Yeah, or adjusting the text of the course even. Yeah, so you have that piece. So that's great. Um, is there a deadline for this? Do you have a time limit on when you're supposed to get the
No,
course?
no, I don't. And in the past, like, self-imposed deadlines don't work well for me.
Yeah, yeah. So what I would suggest, since you don't have a deadline, I think it's really great, is if you can assemble a beta test group, and
Okay.
you don't even need to put it onto that platform. You can do it as, one email a week where you just send the material in the form of a PDF or even an email, but a PDF
Yeah.
is better. And just have people go through it for 8 weeks, or at least the first 4 weeks, and see how they
Right.
feel about it.
Okay. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that idea. Do you typically charge for the beta test, or is it a free thing?
I usually do free.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But charging, I mean, if you can, it's better to do it free because you're asking for feedback. They're actually, it's really, some people don't do much, and some people take it really seriously. I've had people, like when I wrote my book, Imagine Self-Love, I had people beta readers, and some people came back with such detailed edits, and I mean, really put their heart in, like they worked as an editor for me. And some people didn't, but I really couldn't charge anybody. They did so much for me, so I couldn't charge them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. True.
And then, of course, also if they like it, you can ask for, and if they want to, you can ask for testimonials. So
Right.
it's always great in the advertising when you're promoting your course, or the promotional page that you have, or
Yeah.
about, to put some testimonials.
Right. Yeah. Good idea. And those two, I do have some from the live courses that I've done. I have some from that too. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. And if you don't want to wait the 8 weeks to go through the course, you can also just have some close friends come over and just spend an hour or two looking at it with you. Same
Yeah.
as they say. I mean, it has to be the right person, because I've done that with people, and one person was just like, "Hey, great job, awesome," and
Not helpful.
and another person, but that was what they felt. They thought it was fantastic, but
Yeah.
another person gave me such great feedback about switching things up, maybe, so that people jump more into like something more active, less. I was doing a lot of explaining, so I can always add
Yeah.
explanations at the bottom, a few more notes about manifesting,
Mhm.
but put the action stuff up front.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is a key thing, especially to keep people engaged in courses when they're
Yes,
doing the online thing, that they have something that they're doing. Because it's like, okay, now I have this assignment for this week, and,
yes,
I'm going to go and do that, and let's see what the results are, or, that type of thing.
exactly. And if you want to add more explanation, you can always add it, sort of like read this if you want to afterwards, but it's not like somebody has to wade through a lot of, like a long essay before they get to the part that,
Right.
their mind is going here and their mind is going there, and it's following you all over the place, but they're like, what am I supposed to be grasping, and what am I supposed to be working with? And they need to know that
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. Good.
So,
I like
so
that.
yeah, we these sessions go very, very quickly. Is there any other piece of it that you're feeling about, anything about the course getting out there? Are there other issues in there for you, or is it all organizational?
Part of it too is like, okay, once I create it, then you've got to do the work of promoting it, right?
Right.
And getting it out there. And, uh, you know, probably I would do like a free call, type of thing, to give people like some basic info to get them started, type of thing, or introduce them to the course. So it's kind of like, creating the course is one thing, but then the promotion is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw when you said there's the promotional aspect, because you're not wearing a collar, I could see you kind of gulp.
Right?
And you're right. It's like, that's a huge part. It's not over. It's just beginning. So I don't think we have time in this session, but I just say good for you for understanding that. And that's real.
Yeah.
And that is like, not to say you should be afraid, but you should look at it like this is another huge piece of the puzzle that you need to wrap your mind around.
Right.
And put the energy into, because otherwise, you'll promote your course and you won't be ready to promote. I mean, you'll create your course and then you'll be like, you want to have everything timed so you can hit the ground running when you launch. Yeah. It's all the ducks are in a row.
Right. Yeah. And you want people to show up. I mean, that's the point, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we could talk more about the launch, but unfortunately not here on this call, because I think I was supposed to end around now. So I want to thank you for being my guest on the show and wish you a lot of success with your course. I know you have a lot to offer people with the information, and it sounds like you've already been helping people get great results. So that is something to really keep as a motivational force, because so many people can benefit. I think it's tremendous. I love Feng Shui, and I do believe very much in the power of your environment to impact your life more than many people are even aware of. But even if you're not aware of it, it's still impacting their lives. So I thank you so much for being my guest. And we'll have to end here, I'm sorry to say. If you'd like to work with me, or if any of our viewers would like to work with me, you can learn more about me on my website at rebalinker.com. And you can also pick up my free gift to you, which is Chapter 1 of Imagine Self-Love. And thank you very much for being my guest, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. I look forward to hearing your results as you and to seeing definitely email me. You're welcome to join my Facebook group, which is called Leaders in Self-Love, and I really want to know when your course comes out. So I hope you'll let me know.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. To be a guest on Paint Yourself Into the Picture, please visit vcntv.com/paintyourselfintothe-picture/apply. Remember to like this video and leave your comments below. Join us again next week for another coaching session on Paint Yourself Into the Picture. I'm Reba Linker. My Facebook group again is Leaders in Self-Love, and my website is rebalinker.com.
To watch the rest of this episode, click on the link below the video now if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, click on the Watch the Full Episode button when the video is done.